The next topic I'd like to talk about is the users of OLED systems. Okay, notice that here the end users refer to people that are using just the OLED systems. Okay, the same pyramid structure that we saw earlier is presented here, and remember that we mentioned earlier that anything above the dashed line, the red line, is OLED systems, and then below the dashed line is OLTP systems. Okay, now here is something that may seem confusing at first, because when we talk about the users of OLED systems, really they are not just anybody that is above the red line. Okay, in other words, the users really include the top managers, middle-level managers, as well as lower managers, even front office workers and so on. Okay, in other words, it basically includes everybody in a company. That's the case today. Okay, in the early days of business intelligence, maybe they were concentrated on just top or middle level of companies, but nowadays BI or OLED systems, the use has been expanded to almost everybody in a company throughout the organizational levels. Okay, but even though anybody can be a user, it doesn't mean that everybody will use the OLED system in the same way. Okay, so when we look at the users in more detail, generally speaking, we can classify them into three categories. Okay. They are consumers, they are analysts, and they are specialists. Okay, and consumers make up the largest population or the user group. Okay, and they actually are, even though they are shown kind of like at the bottom of the organization, but that's actually not the case. Okay, I would actually argue that people at the top are probably just consumers, as opposed to specialists, which make up the smallest body of users. Okay, because they require different skills, and they have different needs for OLED data. Okay, as you will see in the next few slides. So first, consumers. Again, they have the largest numbers. They, as implied, they consume OLED data or business intelligence data. Okay, but basically they just consume data or reports that have been produced for them. Okay. And then you have analysts, which not just consume data, but they may also perform some kind of analysis of the data, and they may find some insight based on the analysis that they perform. Okay, so they make use of tools for analysis and presentation that is a little bit more sophisticated than consumers. Finally, you have specialists or authors that are the smallest user group, but they also possess the most sophisticated skill that are needed to produce or generate reports and data that are then used by other users. Okay, the final bullet there shows that the results made available to others, including consumers and analysts and so on. Okay. I'd like to talk about different types of users here. One reason is that the organization of the course is such that I like to present business intelligence from the point of view of consumers first. Okay, so you will look at reports that have already been designed based on data that have already been collected for you and so on, and you will kind of see what business intelligence is about from the consumer's point of view. And once you are familiar with the output or the final results, then I'd like to show you how those reports can be designed, and also how the data can be collected, and to construct a query so that a report can be produced based on a query and so on. In other words, we will then move on to the role that analysts or even specialists play in the use of business intelligence. Okay, so we'll start out from consumers, then we'll move on to analysts, and then even to a specialist as we progress in this course. Okay, so you get to experience the different roles that people play in the use of business intelligence or OLAP systems in companies.